That was odd. Hey, who'd you talk to? What's going on? It's me. It's me. Thank you for joining us tonight for Legit Paranormal News, brought to you by LegitPodcast.com. It is September 27th, 2023, and it is me, Mike Lepre, King Mike L.
I'm Dreamy David Barr.
Cyn Shrader Hill Author.
Sarah Paranormal.
And this is the Legit Paranormal News. David, over to you with the top story. Oh, wait a minute, David. Gonna stop you again. I got a list. Just a list of gross stuff that I found out. I thought I would share with all of us. I guess we need to know. Tumors called teratoma can actually grow hair, teeth, a nervous system, and even an eye. The U.S. has lost 6 nuclear weapons from 1950 to 1968. Still can't find them. It is legal for 1 or more rodent hairs per 100 grams and traits of amount of poop for candy bars. So every 100 grams are allowed 1 to 2 rat hairs and some poop. Hamsters are cannibals. That for those of us who ever owned a gerbil or a hamster or a snake in that matter, and had to like watch mice interact for a couple of days or a day, they're cannibals. Have you guys ever witnessed another mouse eat another mouse ever?
No.
Am I the
No
only
wish.
one then? Wow. See? That's what's paranormal about me. I've seen that. They're awful. Mice are disgusting, awful. Anyways, when you flush a toilet, it can spray fecal matter up to 20 feet. Fecal urine and vomit can stay in the air for up to 20 seconds. 10 milligrams of animal poop, rat poop, is allowed per 1 pound of peanut butter.
Ew.
Why is there so much poop?
4 to 6% of the beans are allowed to be either infested or moldy. Let's see. The Cotard system syndrome. The Cotard syndrome is where people think they're dead. I had to look this up, and I ended up watching it on YouTube for a while, and it's kind of creepy because they just wake up and think they're dead or start assuming they're dead. And then there's a spin-off of that called the but it's where people wake up from a serious brain injury, and they think everybody is a replica.
Oh.
Like they wouldn't think it's you; they think it's a fake you. Let's see.
That's terrifying.
6.7. You have a 6.7% chance of dying on your birthday. 1 in 50 people have brain aneurysms currently in their heads. Or the potential for a brain aneurysm. So 1 in 50 of us could just like that. There's a thing called homicidal sleepwalking. I didn't know that. Where they big dog. Oh boy, big dog. So 58% violent behavior. Go away, dog. 38% do it against themselves. Thank you. 26% do it against others. Let's see. Oh, I can't even read that. Fatal familia, insomnia, is an insomnia where you just never can fall asleep ever again, and you eventually die. So there's like this weird 1% chance of that. So when people get insomnia, now, if they sit there and they think about it, they could have this fatal familia insomnia, Dave, and they may never go to sleep. That'll freak them out. That'll freak them out. 25 to 50 active serial killers are in the U.S. per year. Nightmare on Elm Street was based on a poor little boy who could not fall asleep, and eventually, from his dreams and stuff like that, and lack of sleep, he passed. No, this is and in the lastly, David, just to make things a little more clear, 1 pound of peanut butter is allowed 150 bug, whatever you want to call it. Bugs, little bugs.
Pieces?
Yeah, there you go. 1 pound.
Little extra protein in the peanut butter.
And lastly, there's 4 nuclear sunken submarines currently in the world. And one has 16 nuclear heads on that sub. I didn't even go into all the things I read about mistakes made at nuclear places where they just racked them up to like it went off, they got stolen. Like so this all made me feel, Dave, like I'm hoping to God you have got something to say that's cheery. That's not where I'm at right now, my friend. You got a big dog on me, and all I read was it was mice pooping everything. Everything. No. Like, shouldn't we know that? I mean, you don't have to say it in the commercial, now it less mouse poop and shit like that. But like, you got to like tell us. Like, I would want to know that that's on the list of what I could possibly be eating.
They
I
need
wish
that.
Greg
They need
would
that
walk
speed talking guy that talks at the end of like drug commercials to tell you
Yeah.
all the side
Oh,
effects.
micro machines guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wish Greg would walk through right now because he's Frito maintenance guy, facilities maintenance, and there's a specific number that they're allowed in the chips as
Oh,
well.
The
Yeah.
fact that we have to make a number for mouse poop or mouse hair in everything produced
mhm.
is wrong. Like whatever.
But it's better than it used to be because when my grandmother was in her 20s, so we're talking back in the 30s, no, late 20s, early 30s, right? And she always walked from the shirt plant she worked at to get bologna and cheese or cheese and crackers. So crackers and one or the other. And she chose bologna one day and they walk back and she's cutting her bologna and she cuts into it and there's a mouse foot.
Mm-mm.
So she didn't try to, the mouse was in there.
I know. I'm trying to figure out. Like, that was a 2-minute story about salami and crackers. Was anybody else interested in like crackers all of a sudden with like little pieces of salami on them and cheese, Dave? At all? Did you get hungry for that at all?
I had some Ritz crackers for a snack earlier.
That'd do it. That'd do it. Too much crackers ruin it. Sarah, did you have that feeling at all? You hungry?
No, but I found a dead baby mouse in a bunch of grapes once, and now I can't even eat grapes at all.
Oh, no.
Why would a mouse be in grapes?
I don't know. Is it one of those big bags of grapes you get from the grocery store? I dumped them out to rinse them, and it was like, I mean, it was like it had just been born. It was all like slimy and hairless. It was disgusting.
So Brother Ray.
Where are the other ones?
What?
Yeah. Where did the other ones go?
Yeah.
So Brother Ray of fantasy football, my actual brother, worked at Almax. Dave, you familiar with Almax?
Yes, I live down the street from one. I used to ride my bike there all the time.
All right, so the one that would be where CVS is now on Mineral, the Almax, that one down in North Province. So Brother Ray worked there when he was a teen, I guess. He worked till they closed, literally. Anyways, they would always find tarantulas in the bananas.
Oh,
that was a common thing. Like you'd find a tarantula in the bananas because the way they packed them. So I'm like, really? He's like, yeah, really. And I'm like, this is also from the kid, my older brother, who saw a guy steal a ham and chased him down in the parking lot and caught him crossing Mineral Spring by tackling him from behind. Over ham. That's my older brother. I mean, serious. That's Brother Ray. Like, seriously. The guy stole ham. If we all put that in perspective in like 2023, like, what employee would chase a guy out of the place for a ham?
Right.
I digress. But Dave, go ahead with your top story.
All right. So when you guys hear the word prophecies, there's one famous name that usually comes to mind. So who do you think of?
Nostradamus.
Nostradamus, yeah.
The Mothman.
So we're not talking about Nostradamus, but we are going to discuss one of his contemporaries.
Why was I wrong? I just want to know for a second, though. I know your story's not about what I said. But why did she laugh? Like, what was wrong with the Mothman prophecy?
The Mothman Prophecies is a book, but the Mothman himself did not prophesize anything.
He said, "What do I think of when I say the word prophecies?" How am I wrong? Okay, go ahead, Dave.
Okay, fine.
All right. So we're going to go with Mother Shipton. She's from England. She didn't have the education or the exposure that Nostradamus did. Plus, she had a reputation for being a witch, which didn't help her out. Her real name was Ursula Southdale. She was a soothsayer and a prophetess. She was born in 1488 in a cave outside of Knaresborough in North Yorkshire, England. The cave where she lived is actually England's oldest tourist attraction. It's been open to visitors since 1630. And legend has it that her mother was a 15-year-old orphan named Agatha. And Ursula was born with a crooked nose, crooked legs, and suffered from a hunchback.
Dave.
Yes.
Dave.
So,
Dave.
yeah.
A lot of big words, right? A lot of big words, and I feel like I'm being set up for a joke. You keep saying things like Agatha and Ursula, and I'm this is a real story, right?
No, these are names from like the 1488.
All right,
so these are like old school names, Mike.
You remember HR what we went over? We were actually going to stick
I
to
do.
news, so I'm making sure you're not doing a joke again. Go ahead.
Nope, no jokes. So she became known as Mother Shipton when she married a local carpenter named Toby Shipton, and she gained a reputation in her area as an herbalist, and she was making potions, and because of this, that's why she was considered a witch by some people in her area.
Oh, sorry.
So she's said to have prophesied about a number of things, including the dissolution of the Catholic Church under Henry VIII. We have some of her predictions. I have a list. Again, these are open to interpretation, but remember...
Time out. What is her name again? Mother what?
Mother Shipton.
Okay. Mother Shipton. Now, what is she, like the Pepsi to Nostradamus' Coke? Or are we talking RC Cola? Being honest.
Well, she's probably RC Cola because she never gained the fame and notoriety that Nostradamus did.
So what was her percentage rate?
That I'm not sure of, but
shouldn't they have batting averages?
Huh?
If you predict stuff, shouldn't you have an average? Like, how many times is this guy right? Well, let's put an average on what he says. Right? Shouldn't they have averages?
Actually, you know what's interesting, though? She never wrote down her prophecies. They were written by another woman.
Then they don't count.
Okay.
She probably couldn't write.
Sarah.
Yeah, she wasn't educated like Nostradamus was.
Sarah.
Remember, she grew up in a cave.
Yeah.
Sarah.
In a cave, Mike.
Hear me out for a second.
Michael.
She grew up in a cave. Oh,
Yeah.
stop it. And she had to tell this story to someone else.
Mhm.
There was another woman. You don't think that there was a lot lost in translation on that? Or what do you think?
I mean, you think kind of like the Bible?
Well, I don't know what you mean by
Where
that.
you have to like tell a story and it gets written down, then it gets told and written down again. And then, it's like a telephone game.
You could have said any book. You could have said any book like that.
Any book that is that old. Yeah. But I said
In general, though, I wouldn't trust the book that Dave told me to write down. I wouldn't trust that myself. So anyways, Dave, Mother, what's her last name again?
Shipton.
Shipton. Cyn, what do you think about that name, the last name, Shipton?
A little shifty, isn't it?
Yeah, I already don't like it, but I'm a little worried about it. But I want to know the percentage after the show, Dave. But I'm sorry, continue. I digress.
Mike, you got to get the math geeks on that.
I'll get them on it.
All right. So one of her prophecies was that her prophecies would be discovered. She said, I know I go. I know I'm free. I know that this will come to be. Secreted this, for this will be found by later dynasty. So she's
Dr. Seuss?
kind of like, this is how they talked back then.
It's still Mother Shipton.
It's Mother Shipton.
You ever see the commercial where the guy
prophesized that her prophecies would be found?
Or you ever see I know that about her, but you ever see the Kmart commercial where they're like, I ship my pants? So they're talking about everything they could ship from Kmart. Now that Kmart
I get it.
I ship the bed. The old guy going, you ever see that? No?
I don't remember that.
Dave, go ahead.
All right. So supposedly she predicted trains, cars, car accidents, and the formation of the Church of England. She said, a carriage without a horse will go. Disaster fill the world with woe. In London, Primrose Hill shall be, and center hold a bishop's see.
So she couldn't write for herself, but she spoke in poems?
I don't know. This is how they talked back then, though. Mike, remember, this is like 1488.
I know, but it's
I would've been
rhyming.
stunned.
You understand that it's rhyming, and she can't speak. Like she can't write, but she's rapping. Like, Dave, if I gave you a beat right now, what you're saying, what she's saying, dude, we could make it into a song right now.
Oh, I
It's all
totally
like Mother
get that.
Shepherd, or whatever her name is.
Yeah, but it's like Shakespearean times. Like, yeah, that
But
Shakespeare
she
did that.
couldn't write. So immediately she goes from not being able to write to Shakespearean. It rhymes.
She wasn't writing it.
No, yeah, she
She was
She was
could
rapping.
dictating it.
Okay, so
she
now
could
I trust
hear.
it even
She had
more. that-
ears.
Cyn, imagine if you had a rhyme everything I tell you.
I don't want to.
Exactly. You probably make some stuff up. Go ahead, Dave. I'm sorry. I'm not a big fan of this Mother Love Bone. I'm just not with it, not into it. You know.
That was a great band.
Mother Love Bone?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
the
don't
band.
know.
Pearl Jam before it was Pearl
Yeah, they were really
Jam.
good.
The
They were really
late
good.
great Andrew Wood.
Yeah, that was an
was
inside
the
joke for
singer.
Dave. Yeah, that was just for Dave.
All right. She prophesied the emancipation of women. So she said, "For in those wondrous far-off days, the woman shall adopt a craze to dress like men and trousers wear, and to cut off all their locks of hair. They'll ride astride with brazen brow, as witches do on broomsticks now."
So much.
You're breaking
Dave,
my.
can you send me that
She
poem?
she just
I
lost
can.
so much credibility with me. Like she's already
Oh, she
jaded.
rules.
No wonder why she rhymes. She's jaded. There's something wrong with this woman. She does not have a positive outlook on stuff. She go ahead.
She's a women's liver.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
love it.
Think about Mike. She's got a crooked nose, messed up legs, and a hunchback. Would you be a happy person?
No, but
Okay.
I definitely wouldn't be rhyming.
And people think you're a witch. Maybe
Go
she
and rhyme.
prophesized rap music. I don't know.
All right.
So
All right.
She
Now you've
also
gone too far. Go ahead.
she predicted telecommunications and hydroelectric power. You ready, Mike?
Yep.
Around the world, men's thoughts will fly, quick as the twinkling of an eye, and water shall great wonders do. How strange, and yet it shall come true.
So that last line and a half was all garbage. That was just filler. That didn't really say anything. She was just trying to. She had one statement in the front, and then the rest was. Read it again.
Around the world, men's thoughts will fly, quick as the twinkling of an eye,
There you go. Rest.
and water shall great wonders do. How strange, and yet it shall come true.
Is that
Fill
an iambic pentameter though? Like, because you have to have. How many lines is it?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Like,
5
yeah,
lines.
it's like
That's filler.
it's iambic pentameter, like that Shakespeare wrote in literally.
All right, but that's filler. She still could have said something
she-
in what she said, but she didn't say
Well,
anything.
she had to have another. She had to have another. Dun, 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 dun.
I know, but in that dun 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 dun, dun like when you're writing like a rap song, you have to actually put words that mean something because when you don't, they're filler.
Not
They're like-
always.
No,
Not
no.
always.
I've heard a
I'm
lot
not
of
all
rap.
right. If we're talking about let me see that Tootsie Roll, the songs on that
right,
level, it doesn't matter
exactly.
what was said. I get that. There's some songs that are like that, but that was mostly the '90s. And then it was the point the lyrics actually mattered. Never mind. I digress. Dave.
All right. This one's for you, Mike. Modern aircraft, she said, and in the air men shall be seen in white and black and even green.
Yeah. So we're at a point now where we're saying that she
Josh.
predicted trains, planes, automobiles, and boats.
John Candy.
Right?
I was just thinking John Candy.
But no. She predicted all these things that we're gonna be able to move by land, sky, sea, and faster on land than we thought. Who would not predict that if they had a guess? Like
People that lived in the 1400s, Mike.
you're in the 1400s. You're trying to tell me that you don't have a dream of something that would go really fast across the ground? Ooh, or really fast in the sky? Oh my God, something that would go fast over the water? Of course you did. Everything you built was to go faster. That's all we've ever done is build things that go faster. That's the goal, right? And they didn't dream that back then. But anyways, this lady wants to take credit for it. This fraud.
Bit much.
I don't know. I wouldn't curse her,
Yeah.
Mike. You know, she
What?
was said to be a witch, and
Yeah, but that's all right.
Mm.
It's all right.
uh,
She's not. She's probably not even. How long ago she died?
She was born in like 1488. So
I'm cool.
A
I'm
long
good.
time ago.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. There's no way she'd still be, and she's not listening to this show, so she's not going to be around. She's born
she
here.
prophesied incurable disease, and physics find no remedy, for this is worse than leprosy. Oh, many signs for all to see, the truth of this true prophecy.
I can't. Go ahead, because this is. Hey, buddy, how you doing? They're just she's just basically predicting everything. Like, come on, am I the
Let's
Cyn,
do
am
a
I the
few
only one?
more. Let's do a few more. She predicted World War II. In 1926, build houses light of straw and sticks, for the mighty wars be planned, and fire and swords shall sweep the land.
I'm sorry, you're rhyming, and I got this guy that won't get out of my face. And if he starts to do the bark thing, we're in trouble because I got to shut the mic off. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry. That was good rhyming, though, Dave. You're getting better. You're actually starting to now get a little beat.
Getting into a
Pep in your
flow.
step. Yeah, you got some pep in your step because we reminded you it's kind of more like a rap song. So keep.
All right, so
keep on, Dave.
she predicted agricultural machinery and people moving to cities. And roaring monsters with men atop does seem to eat the verdant crop, and men shall fly as birds do now, and give way the horse and plow.
Hey,
Huh?
I mean, that's pretty good if you ask
Yep.
me for the 1400s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But have you guys seen Good Omens? Has anyone seen the show Good Omens?
No, it's on my watch list.
I feel like this is based on her, the show now. I didn't know this was a real person, but a lot of this is the premise of that show. Is
Okay.
a woman in the 1400s who makes all these predictions who is considered a witch. So, yeah.
There were easy predictions to make.
Like in the 1400s, Michael, I feel like you were just worried about not having the plague and finding food, especially if you lived in a cave. And I mean, it's quite a bit of imagination. So even if they were easy to predict, I give her props for having the imagination, because most people are just trying to stay alive.
Okay.
You live
but
in a
then-
cave in England and Yorkshire.
right.
You know how cold
Okay.
it is?
Yes. No, I don't, because I've never lived in a cave. But I can tell you this: if we're going to go on that note, then the Jetsons, Hanna-Barbera, they knew a lot. Holy Christ, were they on then? And they might even be still ahead of us. What about that?
I'm still
Right.
waiting for my flying car.
That's my point. Like, these are all. Look, come on. If there was no way to move on the ground, I would be like, wouldn't it be great if I could go fast this way, or in the air, or like this? And oh my God, there's this disease. Someday there'll be. You know what? Someday there's going to be a disease. We can't stop. Like, how are these predictions? This sounds like a bunch of old people talking, smoking Pall Mall.
All right, let's do a few more. We got, let me see. She predicted Napoleon's 1, 2, and 3 in the French Revolution. 3 times shall lovely sunny France be led to play a bloody dance. Before the people shall be free, 3 tyrant rulers shall she see. So
She's
supposedly-
vague. She's vague at best.
They're all vague. Nostradamus is vague. Anybody
Yeah.
who does these prophecies, and then this is just people like reading into what they're saying.
All right. All right.
So someone predicted the next one was about USA versus the China and Russia. As I read it, I thought more of democracy versus communism. She said, "Yet greater sign there be to see, as man nears latter century. 3 sleeping mountains gather breath, and spew out mud, ice, and death. An earthquake swallow town and town, and lands as yet to me unknown. And Christian one fights Christian two, and nations sigh, yet nothing do. And yellow men great power gain from a mighty bear with whom they've lain."
Yeah, I see where you get that, Dave. But I also see the other idea as well.
Yeah.
And I could make up maybe 10 to 20 examples of what that could mean to anyone.
Exactly. Again, these are all just people's interpretations of the things that she laid out back then.
You're getting me to a point to where I want to fight this mother Shipton. Like I want to find Mother Shipton like out back. Well, I'm hoping Mother Shipton's a guy. I'm just hoping it's like a really cool name.
No,
She's
it's
a
it's a
witch.
woman.
That's what I
She's a
figured. But I was hoping it was like a pimp of a guy, Mother Shipton. Like that's like
Yeah.
Mother Shipton. I'm Mother
So-
Shipton. Like that's somebody I respect, and I would fight him because of these stupid predictions.
Let's load all of this into AI. Have an
Let's do
AI create a Mother Shipton a la Max Headroom style, and you can debate Mother Shipton.
I do that. That'd be great. It would.
So she predicted wars and politicians' false promises. The king shall false promise make, and talk just for talking's sake. And nations plan horrific war, the likes as never seen before. And taxes rise and lively down, and nations wear a perpetual frown.
Very happy lady.
Yes.
Love to have her at a party. Hey, Mother Shipton, would you pass the chips? Like, no. I ain't going anywhere, Mother Shipton goes. Not me. Not this guy. Go ahead, Dave.
All right, I'll do two more because there's a bunch of them. Supposedly, she prophesies television, submarines, aircraft, and war. When pictures seem alive with movements free, when boats like fishes swim beneath the sea, when men like birds shall scour the sky, then half the world, deep drenched in blood, shall die.
It's dark.
I want to see her predict crayons. I want to see her predict the slip and slide. I want to see her predict something that's not so vague that it's ridiculous. You know what? Ridiculous. Sorry. Sorry, Dave. Sorry.
The American Civil War. These states will lock in fiercest strife and seek to take each other's life. When North shall thus divide the South, an eagle build in lion's mouth, then tax and blood and cruel war shall come to every humble door.
I would have
Mother-
predicted indoor plumbing if that was just me because it smelled bad. You live in a cave.
One day we all shall to poop. And hopefully he goes down. A hoop.
Great,
Smell the
Mike.
stink,
Good job.
the rotten aroma. I don't know, Dave. Dakota? I have no idea right now. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
you boxed yourself in with aroma there, dude.
Oh my goodness. Roma, you know. I don't know what to say. Dave, is there any more you're going to say about this?
Last
that I-
one.
Okay.
So, an asteroid or other celestial body will dictate the end of the Earth. I think it could also signify an alien invasion. A fiery dragon will cross the sky 6 times before the Earth shall die. Mankind will tremble and frightened be for the 6 heralds in this prophecy.
Yeah, this woman, I wouldn't even be pen pals. Like I don't like this lady at all. She's bad. First of all, it's very vague and then very dark. Very dark.
But again, most people who prophesize things were vague and dark.
Nobody ever predicts happy times, huh?
I don't know that for sure.
Is it like the Van Halen of Nostradamus's? Like the David Lee Roth per se of Nostradamus? Would that be like the correct word if I single it Nostradamus, like with the I at the end? With David Lee Roth, is there any versions like that?
I don't know.
Shouldn't we find that out as the news? Like that should be something that we look up. We need to find a good time. What's the word for these people?
Prophets.
Soothsayer, prophet. There's never been a party guy of that. There's never been the party guy of Nostradamus's. No?
Maybe you are meant to be that guy, Mike.
I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna start predicting all kinds of
should.
good times that are gonna happen.
Help us
You
all.
already
And
got
one day
like,
bear shall flow. I'm sorry, Dave.
exactly. You already got like the rap background. You know how to make beats.
Yeah.
Get on
Go
that.
for
Mike.
it.
Now I'm just gonna predict everything that's obviously gonna happen. Like the final track will be someday the earth will finally end. That's my final track.
If there's
Yeah,
poop
like
in
that.
my peanut butter, screw that. I'm feeding it to my brother.
Good times. Good times. I mean that. We
Oh,
done with
God.
Mother Hatcher?
We are done with Mother Shipton.
Shipton. That's right.
Shipton.
My bad. Cyn's bad. All right. Cyn, you're up next.
My bad. Why was that my bad?
I didn't say that. Did you hear that?
I heard
I didn't say
Cyn's bad.
I didn't say
I heard that too.
You might have heard that, but I didn't say that.
He said
Sarah
it.
heard it. Sarah heard
Cyn?
it too.
Oh, that doesn't. Dave, did you hear it?
I did.
Oh, it doesn't matter what Sarah hears.
All three of us heard it.
Yeah.
You ruined me. All you had to say was no.
Unless you're saying Sinbad.
No,
Could
it
have been.
wasn't.
Like if that's going to
Could've
be
been.
your prophet name.
I could have been. Man, he was the 90s mustard type parachute type pants. Like he wore those things like a beast. He would have the oak tree type shirt on with the buttons, and weird matches. Like Sinbad could dress. Not very good, but he could dress. Cyn.
Just an update on your gross facts. Greg just came by and said that in Frito-Lay chips, 2 to 3% is allowed in their making of chips during the day.
A rat poop?
And trash and bug
Parts?
and ick. Yeah.
Cyn, I want you to follow that now with the word allegedly.
Allegedly.
There we go. Yeah, it's alleged. We don't know that for a fact. We wouldn't know somebody that knew that for a fact. Hey, shut up. Oh no. All right. Sorry. Cyn, over to you. I'm gonna have to probably mute myself.
Okay. So here are some more paranormal myths. So I told 5 last time. This we're going to start with aliens. Are little green men and flying saucers? Actually, the most popular are the grays. And I think we've gone over that a couple of times. Supposedly found in the Roswell incident, creatures supposedly have large black buggy eyes and a slit for a mouth on their oversized head. Kind of like that dog. Oversized head. As far as the flying saucer part, they said ufologists claim we should add flying crescents, cigar-shaped crafts, triangular ships, and V-shaped craft to classic flying saucers. As far as more the types of aliens, aggressive reptilians, and blonde-haired Nordic humanoid. I've actually not heard of those.
Yeah, I have a client who, was an abductee, and he says he saw those. And a lot of times, the Nordics, and a lot of times when people think that there's a hybrid child, an alien-human hybrid child, they sort of appear that way as well.
So, Cyn, I've through doing this paranormal thing for about, it's coming up on 3 years. I wish I knew the date, probably past it. But anyways, I've talked to a couple of people after shows where they've told me exactly the types that they think exist. And the Nordic ones are always very prominent. The tall blonde, that
really
like Starman.
It goes all like when we thought they were giants. By the way, did you know that we hunted Neanderthals? So there's actually proof that the next species of human actually hunted Neanderthals, which that makes no sense to me because now I'm going, well, how is that didn't we? So no, there's actually like a split cutoff where they can prove, look it up, where the human species hunted the Neanderthal. So how do we evolve that fast? We can hunt ourselves.
I got nothing.
I got nothing.
Well, there's the theory that Neanderthals were actually an experiment and were an alien race. You haven't seen that?
No, flip it though.
Flip it to modern humans were the alien race, and they took out the
weaker race. It would only make sense to me. That's how the movies go. Well, Neanderthal was probably here first, and then they came down. They made us a better version.
Well, they bred at some point because some people have more Neanderthal gene than others.
Well, yeah, I guess that too.
Because Neanderthal genes still exist.
I don't know what you mean by that. Like
you never had a DNA test because you won't spit in a tube. But when you get a DNA test, it'll tell you your percentage of Neanderthal DNA.
Oh, really? That's what it tells me? Oh, no, I believe that 100%. By the way, I did a deep wormhole, so I'll only be a minute. I did a deep wormhole into the whole FBI database on how they keep DNA and what they're allowed to use. So then there's a thing called ex-convict DNA. That's what it's supposed to mainly be, people that are in the system. However, if there's DNA found on a scene, say a cigarette, a bat, a ball, whatever, they put that into a database, and it's
considered like non-whatever, but it still stays in the database. And they build it and they build it. Every hospital is allowed, any DNA taken can be used into this database. So everybody's DNA is already in the database. And the worst part is, bullshit that is.
It's against HIPAA.
They can pinpoint you by your second to third cousins. They get a couple of cousins and they get the basis of your DNA. The second cousins. That's how far they could go. If they got 2 second cousins' DNA, they could basically figure out where your DNA is in. Like they would knock the percentage down like tremendously. You'd immediately be on the suspect list. They have so much DNA, it's disgusting. It's ridiculous. And the fact that you'd swab yourself and send it away, and then they're going to send you a paper saying, hey, you're 80, 90% Italian, 2% Neanderthal, 1% unicorn, and 3% this. It's like, no percent fat. Whatever they want to say, it doesn't matter. It's not, okay.
I'm not going to commit crimes, so it's good. We're good.
You say that now.
I'm fairly certain that I am not going to commit crimes.
I'm just telling you, as a person with white in his beard, you got a long life ahead of you. You don't know. The way
I don't know.
Sometimes you might.
You guys know if you're gonna like start murdering and robbing, right? We know. We kind of. That's not just something you start doing because you have a midlife crisis. I'm gonna go on a killing spree.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. A lot of midlife crisis people do that. Matter of fact, that's the time they do it. Yeah, they just all of a sudden go and they start killing somebody someday. That's a lot of people do that.
That makes sense. Okay.
Moron from Oregon. Cyn, continue.
Number 6. No, number 7. No one still believes in vampires. Yes, they do. Yes, they do. There was recently a $2,000 bounty on vampires sucking the blood from villagers' cattle in Tamil Nadu, which is in India.
Ooh.
Okay. Also, subsequent staking of a corpse in Romania in 2004 was done. And unfortunately, the beasts don't resemble the sexy vampires that we like to look at. I know.
I don't. I'll take Count Chocula. I'm not looking for a sexy vampire. Dave, you?
They're supposed to have mental powers to trick you into thinking they're good looking.
Yeah.
So their game's a little weak there.
I'm sorry, you never saw Queen of the Damned, Mike? Because that was a pretty sexy female vampire.
No, that was with Aaliyah, and I never seen it. I never bothered to watch it.
Okay.
I never saw an interview with the vampire with Tom
Brad
Cruise.
Pitt. Yeah.
No thanks. No thanks.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to go Brad Pitt on that one.
Yeah, I can't think of one vampire movie other than The Lost Boys that I made.
Lost Boys is great.
I love The Lost Boys.
Yeah.
But Kiefer Sutherland is very far from sexy.
But in that movie, he's a tough vampire. I like him.
Oh.
Doesn't have to be sexy. Just be Kiefer Sutherland.
There are active groups of vampires.
Yep.
They believe they are among a class of vampire in New Orleans and New York City.
Yeah. You know what, though?
There are, and they drink blood, too.
All right, but if you told that story, say, like 15 years ago, we'd all be like, oh, my God, what? But now Sarah could be like, there's about 3 or 4 kids in Florida in elementary school that think they are cats. We'd go, yeah. She'd go, yeah, 3 or 4, but that many at one school? Yeah. Like, so tell me there's people that think they're vampires. I'm in. Yeah,
right. It's not so unusual now. Yeah.
Of course they do.
Modern zombies are supernatural. The term zombie has been used well over a century before 1968. And usually it was about soulless slaves created by Haitian voodoo magic.
Mm.
In 68, when Night of the Living Dead came out, that's when all hell broke loose, right?
Yeah.
And then according to zombie expert Matt Mogg of the Zombie Research Society.
Oh, but very prestigious. Very prestigious society.
How do I get a job there?
He says that the modern zombie is a relentlessly aggressive, reanimated human corpse driven by a biological infection.
And the old school
World
zombie
War Z.
is more laid back. They walk. They like
Yeah.
That's
Now
old
they're like, do you see Train to Busan?
Oh
No,
yeah.
Mike didn't. Mike didn't. He doesn't watch horror movies. Holy cow. Those were fast moving suckers.
Which do you prefer? The zombies that walk slow, a la like Walking Dead, or the zombies that are like super fast, like I Am Legend?
I don't want the fast ones.
Yeah, no one wants the fast ones. I mean, I think that if you watch horror films or The Walking Dead, you spend a lot of time thinking about how you would survive the zombie apocalypse. I know I do.
I see. Here's a weird thing. I've watched a lot of zombie movies. So
You have?
Yeah, other than the one you've said, I've watched the Brad Pitt one. I just don't know the names, but I've watched.
It's World War Z.
That's like the only.
That's a good one.
That's the only probably scary, but I don't find it scary. That's my thing. Like I'm into people killing zombies. Like I really had a fun time with Zombieland because Woody Harrelson was killing me. I would love to kill zombies. Are you kidding me? So I get to take a baseball bat outside and just go whap, and there's no repercussions. I can just go whap, whap, whap. Oh, come on.
You got to watch Shaun of the Dead then. You've never seen that because it's funny.
I have. It's
Okay.
not that funny, but it is funny.
It's very British.
Hot Fuzz was better. I'm sorry.
Hot Fuzz was better.
It was.
Next.
Yep. What?
Skeptics and believers don't get along. Of course they do. When two groups operate together, skeptics can assist in disproving misidentified phenomena. If something cannot be disproven, then it leaves believers closer to a possibly legitimate experience. And most skeptics are confused for cynics, but actively want a paranormal experience. They want it to be real and not just a false positive. That makes sense.
That's the best
And the last
word. That's the best explanation of the word skeptic I've heard in a long time.
It is, right?
You take the cynic out of it, right? Allows them to still exist. Because in my book, once you had one thing where you're like, oh, something might be real, how are you still a skeptic?
Right. Right.
Cold.
I like that. The last one I have is the paranormal is bad for business. Paranormal tourism, where travelers spend vacation money on pilgrimage to genre conventions and famous hotspots, is a very active industry. And people that are shying away from it are stupid. Stupid. Roswell UFO Festival attracts droves of alien enthusiasts to New Mexico every July. Point Pleasant, West Virginia, just had the Mothman Festival. Salem, Massachusetts is about to open up big all month for their month-long celebration of the witch trials and everything witchy possible. Zombie walks, runs, obstacle course, along with proms, protests, and pub crawls. I've never seen a zombie prom. I have seen a zombie prom, but I've not seen a zombie protest or a pub crawl.
I don't know why a zombie protest anything, but that doesn't even make sense. A zombie protest. What does that even mean? Are we protesting zombies or zombies coming out to help us protest? What is going on with that? What does that even mean?
It says it's a weekly occurrence in cities across America.
They protest zombies.
I think there's dressed as zombies, but they're protesting something else.
So they're just protesting something, but a little slower.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or faster.
Genius.
One could argue the majority of people that go on a pub crawl do turn into zombies by the end of the night.
True.
Very good argument, David. Very good argument.
That is very true.
Duly noted.
That's all I got.
Okay. Sarah, over to you.
All right. We're going to talk about Samhain. And it is the pronounced Samhain. It was for the Celts in the beginning of the new year and the beginning of winter, celebrated from sunset on October 31st to sunset on November 1st.
What's the name of it again?
Samhain. So it's spelled Samhain. So people will pronounce it like Samhain, but it's actually pronounced Samhain.
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 Got it.
The Celts believed that on this night, the barrier between the worlds of the living and the dead was at its weakest, and consequently, evil spirits and the souls of the dead would cross over. To keep these spirits at bay, masks were worn, bells were rung, and fires were lit. Homes and other buildings were adorned with certain green plants, which were believed to have protective powers, and burning torches were carried. In Irish literature, the night has a strong association with fairies and the supernatural. Later in medieval periods, the customs of Samhain merged into All Saints' Day, which is November 1st in the Catholic Church. And that is a day for remembering saints and other deceased church figures. Because this day marked the passing of the dead through purgatory, it tied in nicely with some of the ghoulish aspects of Samhain, and the night became known as All Saints' Eve or All Hallows' Eve, which then became Halloween.
So wait a minute. So a
Yes.
bunch of Celtic fans got together and decided in their Irish ways they were going to dictate stuff and eventually created Halloween?
Well, no, actually, the Catholic Church created Halloween. I mean, it's a pagan holiday that marks the beginning of end of summer, beginning of winter. But when they created All Saints' Day, because what actually happened is they figured that because this pagan holiday already was going on, a lot of times the church would try and tie in church holidays to try and bring the pagans over.
Lean into it.
So,
yeah.
So that's why that just sort of, it became, All Hallows' Eve by the Christian church and then turned into Halloween.
They stole it.
They stole it.
They jacked it.
They
They
did.
do that with everything.
Yeah.
Hey, babe,
They did.
you can. Props to them.
I mean, yeah, it worked if you were trying to integrate the sort of wild Irish Celts and pagans into, the more Christian culture and get them to behave themselves.
Now, you call the Irish pagans, not me. Let's just go on the make sure that's on the record.
Well, they were the pagans in Ireland at that time.
Those Irish. That was not me, though. Go ahead.
Some traditions. So soul cakes. For centuries, a popular Halloween tradition across Britain was souling. This saw young people, often the poor, going from house to house and receiving specially made spiced cakes called soul cakes. In some areas, those were more like bread, called soul mass loaves. And as late as the early 19th century, the custom of holding on to a soul mass loaf was still going on strong in the north of England. A lady in Whitby in 1817 owned a soul mass loaf that was 100 years old.
Why were they specially made for the poor? What was so special about these cakes that they were specially made?
I'm gonna
wait, a spice, right? Didn't you say they had like a spice to them?
They were spiced. Actually, I read in another article that people would sometimes put coins and things in them as well, because they were made, but the poor would be the ones going door to door, kind of like trick or treating. So the soul cakes were supposed to represent the soul of a dead person from the household. And then the callers.
You gave you gave poor people dead people cakes?
Yes, that's
That's
what
supposed
they
to be
did.
like, that's so very nice.
Because if you received the soul cake, like the person going to the door, if you received a soul cake from that household, you were supposed to pray for that soul.
That's a big burden. I just want a piece of bread. I'll tell you what, put the quarter in mine, call it a day.
The people receiving the cakes became known as messengers of the dead. So
That would also mean that they had very bad stomach movements.
Well, if you didn't take the coin out.
Spicy cakes. No, spicy cake? What that? What?
No, spices, they're not spicy. They're spiced. So it would be like cinnamon, like spices.
Oh, you didn't.
But not like spicy.
You didn't give us options. You didn't do the menu.
Dave,
did you eat cinnamon?
Did you think the cake was actually
I went to cinnamon. I went right to cinnamon.
Yeah.
I just figured like the cinnamon, nutmeg, clove.
Yeah.
Like pumpkin spice.
Yeah, because if you get a spiced cider, do you assume it's spicy? Or do you assume it's like cinnamony?
Cinnamony.
I'm sorry. Well, it was what?
I can't say it now.
Cinnamony.
Cinnamon what?
It tastes like cinnamon.
Oh. Now, if you put a Y at the end of that, how would the word sound?
Cinnamon.
You said spiced. I'm sorry. I thought spicy. Okay. They're putting like peppers in the bread. Like they're making it spicy for the poor. Like, why would you do that? Especially because I'm thinking spicy bread is going to make you want to have a drink. You're poor. You can't even get a drink. So why are you putting spice in the bread?
Spiced.
All right. So
Not spicy.
so make sure this is a note. In the future, can we make sure we're talking about what type of spices they are?
Hey, you know what? They could have had veggie bread and they could have had dessert bread.
Yeah.
I get that. But see that you said veggie, now my head's spinning with vegetables.
I think it was kind of like a fruitcake,
Chili.
to be honest. I mean, you guys, I don't know if that was like a thing in your houses at Christmas time, but yeah, the fruitcakes, those awful things.
No, that was a thing. But
Of course it was, you're Italian. Yeah.
that was the relative that when they left the fruitcake, all the other relatives would look at each other. Can you believe that son of a bitch brought a fruitcake again? Those box fruitcakes, they're horrible. No one liked the fruitcake behind the scenes. No one liked the fruitcake behind the scenes. You're like, who the hell brought? You'd get mad when you saw that box. It was a box. And
I don't know why anyone.
Fruitcake
No.
in a box.
My mom loves it.
My
I
mom
had
does
it.
too.
Yeah, I've had it in England, and it's actually very good over there. But I've never found what I liked here.
Yeah, not my experience here. It's horrendous.
Yeah, and old usually. All right, this one I don't understand fully. This is a tradition called Allen Day, Allan, Allen Day. For centuries in the ancient towns and villages of Cornwall, there existed the tradition of Allen Day, not a celebration of people with the aforementioned Christian name, but rather an alternative regional name for All Hallows Eve, or October 31st. The Allen, do you have a question already, Mike?
No, that's not a question. I guess it's more of a. I'm just pondering.
I don't know how you go from All Hallows Eve to Allen.
I do, because it's in the name. Halloween Allen is there. It's there.
I would go more like Ween or.
Oh, Allen. They would probably pronounce it Aline. I bet you they didn't pronounce it Allen. I bet they said Aline.
It was Cornwall, so it would be a very Southern British accent. I don't know.
What's a Southern British accent?
Southern.
Can you do a Southern British accent?
No. See, oddly enough, growing up with a British, so one time.
No. What I'm trying to say is though, can you do a Northern British accent?
Yeah, the Northern is the more like proper British accent, and the Southern's kind of like a little more Cockney, London. It's very Dick Van Dyke. It's not in reality, but that's what people think of. Dick Van Dyke, Mary Poppins type.
So.
Yeah.
Is it
They're different all over, just like here. Just so
in the United States, where no offense, son, the more south you go, the looser they are with the English. With where they put their own twang on it more so prominently. Is that what you're doing?
Mike, did you just call Southerners loose?
No, not loose. I was gonna say something else, but I didn't want to say it because I didn't want to start a civil war. It's just the thing is, people, Dave, be honest. When you think of people down south, right? I'm being dead serious. Even growing up as a kid, what were you taught to think of, like when they would say people down south? What was like your first thoughts of these people? What do they look like to you?
Hee-haw. Sorry, Dave.
Me?
I answered for you.
Honestly,
Overalls and that kind of stuff.
Like piece of wheat hanging out of their mouths.
I think of Vivian Lee, Gone with the Wind.
Yeah, I know.
Sitting on the porch, sipping iced tea.
Tomorrow's another day.
Yeah.
Sesame Street was from New York. Everything's always been from the Northeast. It's always been the standard of the entire country.
Wait, how is Sesame Street the standard all of a sudden? Wait, what did Sesame Street have to do with this? What's going on?
What is Sesame Street? It has to do with everything. Sesame Street was one of the greatest institutions there's ever been. And yes, it was from New York. And yes, even kids down south had to learn that the Muppets, they didn't speak like them. It was the Northeast. That's why when Cyn gets mad at me for not putting Eastern Standard Time, it's like they should know. I don't
No,
know.
you have to put Eastern
I don't
Standard
wanna
Time. You
hear
have
it.
to.
Those other time zones, they should.
I'm gonna go. Yeah, I'm gonna go. Yeah, Eastern Standard Time.
You have to.
I didn't ask. For a vote.
2105
Did you call for a vote?
EST.
I didn't call for a vote.
Why was
Mike,
there a vote?
you better talk to HR, Mike.
I
You
got
still
it.
don't know what Alan is, but that's fine.
I do. It's Halloween shortened up. Continue.
Yeah, but they had an Allen apple.
Candy
You would
apple?
have to collect Allen apples. No, I think they're just regular apples. And then the child would place them under the pillow at night. That's it. That's all it is.
Well,
But
wait,
did you know in Victorian England when they
Wait.
did what?
you can't stop there. Why would they
I-
put
I-
an apple under their pillow? What were they expecting in return?
It doesn't say. It just said it was brought to the Allen market during the day and then placed under the pillow by the child Allen night. I guess they got an apple in the morning. You forget
got an
that
apple.
fruit was treats too.
No, you said the
small
child placed it there. The child.
Okay.
You did not.
My
say
bad.
It appeared there. Hey, have you guys ever had almost get caught doing Tooth Fairy or Santa? You ever have a close call? Ever?
Yeah. Oh God, yeah.
Cyn? Ever? No. Never had to play that role for anybody? No, really? Evenly? All right.
The Tooth Fairy's hard.
That's the
If your
hardest
kids
one,
aren't-
Sarah.
That's the hardest ones.
Yeah.
That's the
That's the
hardest
one I almost get nailed on. Yeah, that's the one I pretty much get caught on. Like that was.
You got to go in there when they're sleeping. Yeah.
It was a ridiculous one too, because I had two kids and they were losing teeth like crazy. At one point, it was just that I thought they were just spitting teeth out. It got obscene. I'm sorry, but my question would be, why would you put an apple if you're a kid under your own pillow? First
I
off,
don't know.
it can't be very comfortable. I don't think they had Posturepedic back then. They probably just had goose pillows, which I'm not a fan of goose pillows. Those feathers eventually do stick through the pillow.
You're missing the whole point of that. Think of how hard it was to get a freaking apple under there if you couldn't barely get $1 under there. So that was like talented parents sneakiness.
But those kids were much more tired and fell asleep because they were outside running through the woods trying to catch.
They were working in the labor mills probably.
Yeah, they weren't playing video games, sitting on the couch going, "Ma, could you get me another sandwich?" None of those kids. Just saying, they were tired at night.
Okay.
I'm just trying to disprove everything, and I'm having a good time doing it. I'm going to be honest, because you can prove or disprove just about anything depending on
What are you disproving about apples?
the fact that kids put them under their pillows. I think you're wrong.
Okay, well, I mean it. I
She
corrected
did
my
a
statement.
retraction.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
retraction. Retraction's on the table. Okay, that works.
Okay.
Dave's
No,
up.
they're
Dave's
yeah,
up.
yes.
Don't look at me. It's all
I'm
Dave.
approving it myself.
It's all Dave. You think it's me? Dave's approved.
Dave, would you allow me to correct my statement, please?
It's allowed.
Okay.
Thank you.
I don't have a gavel, but it's
All right,
it's
then.
allowed.
Dave runs this whole thing. I keep telling
I
you.
love Dave. I
And
love
that's
him.
our-
Yes, I love Dave. He's a breath of fresh air next to, I mean, Mike didn't even notice. So I updated the website. And I don't think he even noticed that, I put all our bios coming soon. And under his, I just put resident smartass and left it there.
I saw that.
I noticed.
He
Pretty good.
didn't say anything.
That was pretty funny. I kind of like it. I don't
We
think
could just leave that for you.
I'm kind of happy right now with just that. That's my bio. That's my bio. Resident smartass. That's it.
Yep.
I'm fine.
So,
I don't
yeah,
need more, actually. Although, what if they called me the paranormal beauty, King Mike?
you are such a jerk.
No, what if they called me that though?
If they call you what?
The
The
paranormal beauty,
paranormal beauty.
right? Like that's like
Yeah,
Rick
that
Farish.
works for you.
I wear like a wrestling robe. You know what I mean? I'll put that's how it has to be. But no, I guess I couldn't be the beauty. Although in Italian terms, if you call someone a beauty, that guy's a beauty. Like that meant something else. So
Yeah, it does.
I could be the beauty, King Mike.
You-
People around here,
You
What-
really
what-
could.
right?
The butte,
Yep.
if we're gonna
Yeah.
shorten it.
Yeah, the beauty. But no,
Yep.
the paranormal beauty would you have to go to somebody else. So
Oh, jeez.
when do you guys claim it before Dave
It's
does?
10.
No, that would be that one.
Somebody said something on my Facebook. This is so silly. You're such a jerk. You are such a jerk.
I don't even know what you're talking about. I have
My
no
lights.
idea.
Look at you. Just made my lights go out in the room again.
That's the second lie because I can't control your lights where I'm sitting. So I don't know.
What?
I really don't know what you're talking about.
No, this is like the Christine energy I'm getting where I get frustrated with Mike. My lights just give out.
Yep.
Did you follow that all, Dave?
He made her lights go out.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's what I guess I get. I somehow made the lights. When the lights.
I think Mother Shipton predicted this.
Yeah, maybe. That's possible. You got to watch Good Omens, Dave. It's a good show.
All right.
It's pretty funny.
It is on my watch list.
I keep checking the cryptids, Bigfoot type stuff, and there has not been any new evidence in years. In years, I feel like Bigfoot is now the back seat of paranormal. I feel like cryptids have taken the full back seat of paranormal, and they're one of the coolest ones. Like to believe in, if you believed in them. Like, I would love to see a Bigfoot or a frogman or a mothman. You name an animal, I'll name a man. I'm just saying. The point is, they are definitely now the like you believe people that believe in ghosts more than Bigfoot. Go to the 70s. I really think it would be Bigfoot and cryptids before ghosts. I'm being serious. Like,
Is this a setup?
No, I'm
Because
dead serious. I'm asking,
Well-
why have cryptids moved all the way to the back of the line of paranormal world?
Do you know what they're doing to vent their frustrations?
What's that, Dave?
They're pooping in our peanut butter.
There you go.
quick. Like it.
Pooping and peanut butter. See,
There you go.
That would be a big.
big. That's so highly improbable. Because I don't think Bigfoots could poop into. I mean, well, never mind. Before I start talking about Bigfoots pooping into peanut butter, I keep watching. If you guys notice, and I'm paranoid because the big jerk that I live with, he keeps peeing on like new locations. Just not a lot, just enough to market. And I got a new Giants blanket for my birthday. And God help me if he pees on that blanket. Although we may start winning. Anybody got anything to say in wrap up? Dave, you first.
I don't know. You left me dumbfounded, Mike. I got nothing.
That's pretty fun to do. Cyn?
Coming up October 21st, 9 to 6, Tennessee Haunts and Legends Expo at the Nashville Fairgrounds, hosted by Unseen Paranormal, PPF Investigations, and Medics for Paranormal. That's our friend Eric Freeman Sims is one of those. 80 vendors, several speakers. Proceeds are divided among Trousdale Place, Gallatin, and Animal Rescue Corps out of DC, and their flagship is in Lebanon.
Pretty nice. And where can we find your books?
On Amazon, Cyn Shrader Hill Author.
Mm-hmm. Sarah.
Interestingly enough, on Sunday for Legit Paranormal, we are going to have Josh with the Animal Paranormal, who is a Bigfoot hunter, on. So Mike can ask him the burning question of why is there no Bigfoot evidence that is new? So that'll be a good one. And October 14th is the first annual Paracon at the historic Hurd Opera House in Arcadia, Florida. I'm going to be speaking there along with Florida paranormal investigators about the Gansfeld method and parapsychology. Phelan Paranormal, who is putting on that Paracon, will be our guest on Thursday on the Clips show. So the website has been updated. Our Amazon list is on the top banner. You can click there and see recommended books and products. And make sure you like and follow all of our social media, legitpodcast.com, spell it out, and like and subscribe on YouTube, please.
Yeah, I did a reaction video today. And I realized that I just, like, in other words, if you tell me to react to something, I just make fun of it. That's like, I don't know what other reaction you can have other than to make fun of something when you watch it, because it makes sense. But the first one I caught was this guy that was so meticulously handsome. Like,
Oh, he's not handsome.
but you know what I mean by what I'm saying. Like, he thinks he's beautiful.
He thinks he's handsome.
Oh,
Yes.
God help me, he does. And it just, like, I'm still new to this. I'm gonna be near 85 soon. I'm not used to this whole TikTok technology, because I'm watching that. I'm going, really, guy. In my head, I was thinking, really, guy, you would do this? Like, why would you do this? Why would you do this? Why would you look? It took him a lot of time to get the exact positioning of where he was sitting, just to sit. With the good chains had to be in a certain area, and all this stuff, and the tattoos had to be here, and the cheekbones had to be just like this. It was perfect. Like, I'm like, he really worked hard on being handsome, but he failed because he looked really just too pretty. The type of pretty where it's like bad guy from Karate Kid. Like, you don't like the pretty. You know what I mean? Like, he's not handsome. He's not Brad Pitt, Legends of the Fall. He's like this guy I want to slap and tell him to, like, you know what I mean? Go rub some dirt on your face, for Christ's sake. I'm just saying, like, that's kind of how handsome he thought he was. Sarah, do you understand what I'm saying?
I do understand what you're saying. Yeah. Too pretty boy, like Billy Zane in Titanic.
Yeah.
I think I call him. I said it, if I didn't know that Vanilla Ice joined Color Me Bad.
That's true. You did make the reaction video about that boxing thing, though, that I actually want. Like, I want to buy that.
Yeah, I wasn't
It's
making
like
fun
you
of that
guys.
thing.
You got the guys. Well, yeah, she wasn't moving her hips at all.
She
Yeah.
was hopping. She was hopping and throwing punches. That's not a real punch. That's playing Simon, is what I said. She was going beep.
But the thing did look like Simon, and you just put it up on your wall.
You're supposed to
and you
go
can box with it.
You're supposed to hit it.
You got yeah.
She wasn't hitting it. She was dancing and throwing punches. So, like,
It's playing music. It's supposed to be fun. Not
fun, but you learn something. You don't learn how to throw a bad punch. Now this poor girl, she ever gets into a fight in the subway, she starts hopping around and throwing rabbit punches, and someone just goes wham, and it's just over. Now it's because no one ever said to her, hey, honey, it's not, don't hop around. Get a base. Square up. No. All right. Whatever.
She's not going in areas where she's going to get into fights on the subway. She's going to Starbucks to get her pumpkin spice latte, Mike. Come on.
All right. But so also from what I've seen then, that's one of the most dangerous areas to be, because Karen seems to square up there. That's what's true. Every other video I see is some
That's
Karen.
a good point, Mike.
But the worst one I saw was the couple that slapped the Karen when the wife was ready to fight her. And
on the airplane.
The guy stands up. I'm about to slap you in like 3 seconds. And I'm like, and then he slapped the daylights out of this woman. And everyone's like, hey, stick up, don't let that Karen talk. And I'm like, no. You don't slap the woman. Your wife or girlfriend was ready to go toe to toe. Let her go. Let her go. It's not your job to stand up and slap another woman. That's not even fair. I mean, it wasn't even. Then we talked about, did we get into this? That one thing that women will never fight for is equal rights in that slap competition.
Oh.
You'll never see a woman go, I deserve to be up there with those guys who slap the soul of other guys. No one wants that. No one wants that job.
Have you guys seen those slap fights? My kids are obsessed with those videos.
God.
They have entire genre videos of there's these competition where these guys just sit there and they slap each other as hard as they can. You can't move. Yeah. It's brutal. These like big Eastern European guys, and they're just like slapping each other as hard as they can.
That is
I've seen some women do that.
All right.
But the women wouldn't do it with a man.
No, women against women. And I mean, they are knocking each other out.
Yeah, there's no way I'm gonna sign up to let anybody slap me in my face. No.
Two things. That's what we're talking about. The discrepancy is huge right there, because I've seen the women slap each other, but then you see these guys from like Russia that their arms are like this big, and they it's like, oh no, like I don't even want to stand in front of that. But on that note,
and you can't flinch.
We had a tough in Rhode Island that's on YouTube that keeps airing. Somewhere in Rhode Island, I don't know if it's the Strand, they have a tough man fight every like week. You know what I'm talking about, Dave? I'm being serious. It's in Rhode Island. It's on YouTube. It's become like a big sport. It's like a tough man competition.
I think I have seen it advertised for the Strand.
Is that where it's at?
I know they've had stuff like that in the past, but I don't know if it's currently there.
You get to go down there, sign up with someone you don't like, and fight them. I didn't know that. That's fantastic. That is a fantastic thing. Like where was this like 10 years ago, 20 years? Come on. Like that's fantastic. That's a great way to settle a problem.
Let's settle this like men.
Yeah, I'll see you at the Strand, Dave. You know what I mean? Like
It's like a duel. You can throw down it's like a duel.
no, but the funny thing is the nicknames
Challenge.
they come up with these people. There's two things if you watch the video of it in Rhode Island. First off, you'll notice that the ring moves. It's not even flat. It's like there's too much of it. Like it's not tight. Like it just moves. It's stupid looking. But then also like they got the worst nicknames. But there's this one big white dude with like this mullet that just keeps knocking everybody out. Like everyone that comes up to fight him in the heavyweight thing that I've seen so far, he's just so big that they're hitting him, and he just goes bang, and it's just like, oh, like I would love that. He's got to be local, so I'd love to meet this guy. Like this guy is knocking everybody out, and to do that in Rhode Island, knock every fat guy out, every big guy out, every extra large guy out. I don't know. Sounds like a dream.
Why are we just punching fat guys?
I didn't say just fat guys. I didn't say just. I'm not inclusive. What are you talking about? Why would you go there? What is it with you and these weird random things? So for Cyn Shrader Hill Author, for Sarah Paranormal, for Dreamy David Barr is me, Michael B. King, Mike Elders was legit. Paranormal News brought to you by Legit. Podcast.com. Coming up right now is Into the Legit Darkness.